Hey, happy day. Do you ever roll your eyes? Somebody says something that you don't agree with or sounds a little bit off the wall and you roll your eyes. It's a, pretty common practice, okay? In Oregon, wow, the left-wing people there, they're just out of their mind. They're totally insane. And let me add a little bit to that. Here it goes. Oregon teachers, these are educators. They're taught, they go to school, right? They're supposed to be regular humanoids, but here's what they did at the Errol Hassel Elementary School. They said that eye rolling is a harmful practice rooted in white supremacy. That's really what they say, right? They're BIPOC educators, and that stands for Black, Indian, and People of Color. And I'm not sure why that's in the same article, but they seem to think it's kind of important that we know that. They've observed and experienced and witnessed all of this stuff going on when somebody rolls their eyes. They're making me roll my eyes. I'm an eye roller now because they're insane. Jeez, and they keep walking among us. Gas prices. You've got a guy that works for President, almost said Trump, Biden. That's the guy, that new guy. There's a fellow that works for him. And he says, the president is doing everything that he can do to reduce prices for American families, but there's a number of factors for the record prices, including a shortage of supply due to the war in the Ukraine and Russian embargoes and general inflation and so on. And no president alone can fix this. Boy, is he ever off the mark. This guy has certainly lost his way, has he not? President Trump had this thing handled, and this guy, Biden, he messed it all up on the very first day in office. He canceled pipelines and said, hey, no more gasoline, no more oil. Let's buy it from Russia. How dumb is that? I mean, all he has to do to fix this mess is allow Americans to start to drill again. This isn't tough, right? And they meet all of the environmental standards and everything of the day. So just get it fired up again. But instead, he's a liberal and he says, we can't do that. I'd rather buy oil from a country that we don't like. Duh. There are no words. The good news is that we can't understand these people, right? Then you swing over to Canada, the prime mistake. He does not act in the best interest of Canadians. The New World Order is his objective, a world government, the globalist agenda. Who is this guy? I mean, why don't the people that are with him in the House of Parliament stand up? The other liberals, the liberal MPs, why don't they stand up and talk? We know that as soon as they do, they'll get kicked out of the brownies. I get that. But become an independent. Work for your nation. Do you really want a country like this? I can't believe that hundreds of people in that house, the House of Parliament, agree with this man. I know that they do not. I've spoken to many of them, liberals and conservatives, and they say the same thing all of the time. Eek, we're frightened. We just can't deal with this. Tax credits, all of this stuff for media outlets. I mean, that's the free press is gone. It's a propaganda nightmare. Let's go down to Canada, and everyone else in the world is looking at this. Every other government, left-wing governments are looking at it and saying, what's going on? This guy's further left than we are, and we've been practicing for centuries, okay? I mean, this is the same guy, this prime mistake that says, freedom of women, they have the rights. I will always defend someone's rights. And yet he removes the rights of all Canadians. And then he says in the Ukraine, I'll send you guns because you need to fight for your freedom and your rights. You have to have that. And here he's banning all the guns from legal people. He's a walking contradiction. He's a very dangerous guy. He really is. Now, note this. Apparently, there's no real way to get real numbers, but apparently there's hundreds of death threats to the Prime Minister of Canada each and every month. I don't agree with that. I mean, I think that's a pretty bad thing. You should express yourself and threaten him, I guess, at the ballot box. You shouldn't be doing it other ways. But people are so frustrated, I guess they don't know how to express themselves anymore. And so many have lost their jobs because they were locked down and they're not vaccinated and on and on. There's a long, long list. But in any event, he's getting all these threats. But it's not just him. It's members of Parliament as well. And hundreds of them each month, hundreds and hundreds of threats each month go to them. I should say there's not hundreds and hundreds of them, thank goodness. And it's kind of a dire thing. So the Sergeant at Arms in the House of Parliament, he has a fix for this. I'm sure he had a huddle with the Prime Minister of Canada just to sort this out. And he says, we have a solution. We're going to give all of the elected people personal security item. item. What is it? What is it? Well, the Public Safety Minister, Medenko, he says that, I presented a bill for gun ownership to curb that, and I've had all kinds of death threats and so on. And so in keeping with that, I'm going to fix this. So we're going to have a panic button. He was part of this little group that put this together. We're going to have a panic button for protection of all of us, which we will carry around to, and if a bad guy comes and starts to shoot at us, we'll press the button and we will alert the Parliamentary Protective Services or the local police. And, in a couple hours, we'll have somebody there to save us and to help us. Really, that's his idea of protection. You're dealing in a system or a society where bad people have guns. If they can't get them illegally, they'll make them. And this guy wants panic buttons? What is he, a senior citizen worried about falling in the bathtub? I mean, really? Oh, my. These guys, they have no minds. In 1966, in keeping with people without minds, a person, there was a fellow, his name was Paul Karcher, maybe. He was 44 years old. He was somewhat deranged, no kidding. He brought a bomb made of dynamite into the public galleries at the House of Commons in Ottawa. Again, this is 1966, and his intent was to toss it over and blow everybody up. But nature got him first, and he had to go to the bathroom, so he did that, and on the way, this thing detonated and killed him. Oh boy, it just keeps going on. Lastly, Pride Month is happening in so many places, and I find it just bizarre. I was in a Food for Less store in British Columbia, Canada recently, and I gotta say, they had more decorations up about Pride and letters from young children saying, let's support Pride, and on, and flowers and displays. When I got to the till, I was buying some items. The girl said, would you like to donate to support Pride Month? And I said, where would the money go? And she said, what do you mean? It's a support thing. And I said, well, supporting who? Like it's already legal. Like, who gets the money? She didn't know. And I said, well, that'll be a cold day when I give them money. I mean, like, we're all the same. Go away. Why do they get a month? Anyway, my point here is it's not just them. It's the banks. You go into banks, Bank of Commerce, and every bank in Canada. I mean, it's like, wow, decorations everywhere. There's more decorations than Food for Less in the Canadian Commercial Bank of Commerce and the Toronto Dominion Bank and many others. There's more decorations for Pride Month than there are at Christmas. It's true. I went around and I looked, I took pictures, and I thought, wow, I'm not in this world anymore. The world has left me. Hey, y'all come back. I don't care what people do, marry a bale of hay, but do we have to see this for a month? This conversion thing that's going on is unbelievable. I mean, leave me alone. I'm straight and I'm white, and I mean, I have been for a long time, and what's all this stuff? I mean, I don't care who you are or what you do. I'll always fight for your right to do it, right? But a month? Christmas is a day. And Memorial Day, people fought for this. It's a day. A month? Hey, y'all come back.